Hello lovely people, welcome back to another episode of Original TV. Now today is a very special and amazing episode because in December 2021, the Ministry of Education together with the Ministry of Public Security, the Ministry of Human Resources and Social Security and also the Ministry of the National Immigration Administration jointly formulated the administrative measures for international students in colleges to take part-time jobs, which stipulates that college students can work part-time and obtain legal income under specific conditions. So basically that is what we are going to talk about in this video. I'm going to take you through everything that you need to know. So if you are a student planning to study in China in the coming days or coming months, now this is the video you need to watch. And then if you are a student already in China studying, then yes, you should also need to watch this video because it's going to give you all the information you will need. And then also in the end of this video, I'm going to give you the details of the main letter that was released by the Ministry of Education, so you could check it out on their website. And I'm also going to give you the QR code that you could scan it and check out directly from their website. So stay right here with me as I take you through everything you need to know. Yeah, so like I mentioned, it actually comes as a very good news to all students in China because that is one of the main questions that people have really been asking in terms of studying in China. I mean, can people find part-time jobs? At first it wasn't like that, but now there is that liberty for students to study in China. So without wasting much time, we are going to go through everything that you need to know. So let's just go through the article. So basically article 1 and 2 is just introduction to the whole thing that you need to know. It says that in order to regulate the work study activity, so basically 1 and 2 is not very important. The most important one starts from article 3. Now article 3 states that the term work study assistance as mentioned in these measures refers to the practical activities of international students who, under the organization and management of the school, use their spare time to obtain legal remuneration through labor and use it to improve their learning and living conditions. So excluding schools practice in accordance with teaching. So basically the article 3 is talking about what the work and study assistance cover. So it should be something that is not provided under your curriculum or what you are supposed to study as a student in China. So if it is an internship that you are doing, then you don't expect the school to pay you. Even if it is a work that you are doing but it is under your curriculum or it's an internship, that is not going to be paid. That is not going to be mentioned under the work study assistance. Yeah, article 4 says that work study activities on and off campus for international students are carried out under the unified leadership and overall arrangement of the school in accordance with principles of having spare capacity for study, voluntary application, priority for helping the poor, and abiding by the law. The school shall formulate relevant implementation rules clarifying the specific measures of work study assistance for international students in the school and the powers and responsibilities of the corresponding internal functional department. Article 4 is also just a general overview of what the work, whatever the students want to do should be about. So it should be about just voluntary application, priority of helping the poor and abiding by the law. Go to article 5, which is very important, and it says that international students work on and off campus for no more than 8 hours per week and no more than 40 hours per month. During winter and summer vacations, in principle, no more than 16 hours per week and no more than 80 hours per month. So if it talks about the time that students would have to work in every week when the semester begins and also when you are on vacation. Now basically, if you are given up to maximum of 8 hours to work per week, and so if it means that if you find a job, then basically you will be able to work 1.5 hours per day if you are working in every day of the week. You get it? And then in the summer and winter vacations, usually the summer vacations are about, let's say, 2 months, and then winter vacations are around just a month. So in the vacations, then it's going to be fine because you have about 80 hours per month. So that is cool. You could be able to work about 3 to 4 hours every day. And so also in this case, if you find a work that you could only do it in the weekend, it's going to be so good for you, because if you have 8 hours per week, so Monday to Friday you just focus on your study in school, then in the weekend you have 8 hours, so you could do 4 hours on Saturday, 4 hours on Sunday, or you could just do it just one day. Maybe find a job that you do it only on Saturdays or only on Sundays, and you work the whole 8 hours, maybe 4 hours in the morning, 4 hours in the afternoon, and that's going to be very perfect for you. It's not going to be a hindrance to your study. So I think with the time it's okay, although it's not enough. I mean, looking at most of the jobs that are available, the time that they have given is not, very enough, but at least I think 8 hours is okay. At least it's manageable. And this part could also be flexible, you understand? It's also flexible in the sense that I'm going to talk about how your school comes in and everything, but so let's move on, and I'm going to explain more about that later. Now, Article 6 says that the school shall not arrange or authorize students to participate in toxic, harmful and dangerous production operations, and must ensure that international students engage in work-study activities have purchased what insurance covering study work activities. You understand? So about Article 6 it's talking about toxic and harmful and dangerous activities. Now basically we talk of activities like metal fabricators, steel production, iron makers, and various related industry deals with some hazardous materials. These jobs are not going to be allowed by your school, or it's not even going to be given to you to be done by your school. You get it? Any activity that involves dangerous chemicals, or any activity that has the potential, it has a health risk to you, the student as an individual, the school is not going to allow you to do that. And so Article 7 says that international students to work on campus, the post should be mainly on campus, teaching assistants, scientific research assistants, administrative management assistants, and school public services. Positions are set up to meet the needs of students not taking a normal study time. So the remuneration of international students on campus work activities shall be arranged by the school as a whole. For Article 7, it talks about the type of works that you could do if the school is to employ you as a student and a worker, you understand? So Article 8 talks about international students are paid according to the following standards: fixed positions, paid on campus. It's quite lengthy, but the whole idea of Article 8 is it's talking about the fact that students who are being hired by the schools should be paid fairly, and they cannot be cheated, you understand? They should be considered, and then they should be treated just like how the Chinese people are treated, how the remuneration for students, Chinese students, and even the Chinese people are given. So any student that is doing maybe a 6 hour per week job or 8 hour per week job, if the Chinese is being given maybe 1,000 RMB per this, then also the international students should be given the equal amount. Article 8 is talking about the fairness in payment of the remuneration for students working on campus. Article 9 is very important because it talks about the conditions that every student must meet if you want to be able to work on campus. Now the first one is that you should be at least 18 years old, but that is very basic because even before you step foot in China, you should be 18 years, or else you will not even be able to get your visa, you understand? That is the basic conditions for everybody. So it's general. Everybody in China at least should be 18 years, and you should be physically fit, and they should have a valid residence permit, which within the territory of China, that is also a very normal thing. Once you're a student, you're going to get it, and then you should be able to abide by Chinese laws, regulations, school regulations, be of moral character and stuff. And then also undergraduate students, graduate students, who have been studying in the current school for more than a year. It says the academic progress and attendance rate meet the requirements of the school. Part 5 of Article 9 and 6 is very controversial. Now it says that academic progress and attendance rate meet the requirements of the school. And then 6 says other conditions stipulated by the school. When I got this, I realized that although there are some conditions, there are about 6 or 5 conditions over here, but in a real sense, it's very unlimited. Now, it's very unlimited because it is open to every school to add their own conditions, because it says other conditions stipulated by the school. You get it? So that is where some schools are going to put in their own conditions, and that is going to be a little bit of problem, you understand? Because some schools in Beijing will have other conditions that will differ from schools in Guangzhou or schools in Shanghai. I personally know that this for the start, it's going to be a little bit of a problem. You get it? It's going to be a problem for the schools to implement it. Some schools are going to be a little bit strict and stuff. But after a few years, maybe after 1 or 2 or 3 years, it's going to be a general thing. You get it? Not all schools are going to implement this right away. You understand? It's going to be step by step. It's not going to be that the school is not going to let this law work at all. No, that is not the case. But schools are different in China and they have their different rules. So it's going to be a little bit tough over here. In the end, no matter what, everybody's going to get a chance to work. So no matter what, it's going to be okay for everybody. So that is that. So Article 10 says that students should submit a copy of the agreement signed with. So basically, if you find a job, that the letter of employment, you should give it to your school. So 10 and 11 is basically the same thing. After you get the letter from the boss, the place that you got your work to do, you need to submit it to your school, and then your school is going to help you to send it to the entry and exit administration of the local place that you are, and then it's going to be recorded on your files. You get it? So that is basically something like more or less like a registration. So actually you are going to be with a student visa. Your visa that you are going to have is a student visa, but yes, so there is going to be a recognition that okay, this person is having a student visa, but they have been allowed to do this type of work or do that type of work. So in case you are doing a work and then the police comes or whatever, at least you have a document to prove to them that you have been allowed or whatever. And so 12 also talks about the geographical scope of work assistance is limited to the district level. So if you are in this city, then the job that you find must be in that particular city and not any other city elsewhere. Article 13 is saying that if an international student is under any of the following circumstances, the school shall cancel his or work study qualifications. Completed studies, dropped out of school, suspended or whatever. So once you graduate, then your school has the right to terminate that working permit that they gave you. And then you violate national laws and regulations and the school management system. So the moral character is inferior, violates social order and good customs. So that is also, it's very normal. I mean, everybody knows that if you are someone who doesn't obey the law, then the law is going to work against you. So it's very simple to understand. And then there are other situations where work study is affected by circumstance that the school determines is no longer appropriate to continue work and study. So yet again, this is another open clause in the communique. It says that any situation that your school deems it inappropriate for you to continue studying. Now, this could be very, it's a very broad, you understand? And also the power lies in the hands of your school. Go according to your rules. If your school says come back by 11 p.m., come back by 12 p.m., try your best possible as a student to come back at that time, and then try not to do anything that goes against your school. Article 14 says that international student work study program exceeds the scope of the post or prescribed time limit. The exit and entry administration of public security shall investigate and deal with it according to the law. You get it? Now, basically, Article 14 is one that is very important. It says that if the time limit that is given, the job that you find exceeds the time limit, that is the 40 hour per month in study time, and then 80 hours per month in vacations. If they find out that you are doing a work that far exceeds it, but your school has allowed you to do it, then it's going to be very serious for the school. It's going to be a problem for you, the student, and even the school. You should try and stay safe as a student. If you are finding a job, try and find a job that is going to be good for you, a job that is not going to just hinder your own studies, because in the end, studies is important. You understand? You mainly came to China because of studies. So basically, you shouldn't focus on studies. You shouldn't focus on working more than studies. That is one thing that you should take note of. And that Article 15 says that each provincial education administrative department shall, in conjunction with the local public security, immigration management, human resources and social security and other departments, coordinate and supervise the work study activities of international students within their respective administrative regions. Article 15 is talking about, despite the fact that the Ministry of Education has released this communique to the general public, the power lies in the hands of the school. You understand? It's still flexible and the power lies in the hands of the school. Article 16 says that the school shall earnestly fulfill the main responsibility of work study management and then strengthen the daily education. Final article says that these measures shall come into force at the date of issuance. Now, like I said, this communique was issued in December 2020, 21, and it was made public in January 2022. So basically, the law is in force. We are not waiting for anybody to tell us when we should do it. It says that it's already in force. So now we are in the vacation. The next semester begins in a few weeks, and so schools are going to give out their communique, their version of this communique, and the students are going to be told what to do and what not to do, and people can basically start working. So this is, everything that the Ministry of Education brought out to the general public in terms of working in China. So thank you so much for staying through with me for the whole of this video, and this is the code that you could scan if you want to check out this article. The main version, it's in Chinese, and it's released on the website of the Ministry of Education of China. So you could scan this QR code that you see on your screen to visit the main website of this article in the main website of Chinese Ministry of Education to read it for yourself. And also you could just link up with me on Instagram or Facebook with the links that you see right on your screen. And then if you have any questions about studying in China, anything that you want to know, if you want to any other questions that you have about studying in China, you could contact me, and then I will be very glad to help you. So thank you so much for staying through with me to the end of this video, and I really appreciate your support and your help that you have been giving me all this time. And there are some more beautiful content that are coming your way. So if you have not subscribed, please do well to subscribe to this channel so that you don't miss any beautiful episode that I upload over here. So see you same time next weekend, and bye.